I'm Lucio. I'm a full-time real estate transaction manager and a part-time sports reporter. The second job, well, that keeps me sane from the first one. Both jobs afford me the ability to travel, and so I thought, why not bring you along? So these are my little adventures. Well, if you're wondering where I am, I'm in Boise, Idaho. And well, we're gonna be covering the Boise State football game against Fresno State. But we're gonna take in the sights, take a look around, but most of all, we're gonna try and find some real hidden gems when it comes to food. So join along for this little adventure as we take a look around this beautiful city. Now, upon arriving in Boise, Idaho with my good friend and colleague Jackson Moore from the Barkboard, we decided, let's head over to Bronco Stadium. Let's take a look around and see what that stadium is all about. Because when you think of Boise, Idaho, the first couple of things you think about first are the Idaho potatoes, but second, local town favorite, Boise State Broncos. So we decided to kind of take a look around and see the historical value of this place. I mean, just walking around, you can sense the history and how proud the community is around this team. As we were sitting there, though, we noticed that the Fresno State Bulldogs diesel truck carrying all of the equipment just arrived. So we got to see them start to unload all the equipment for the upcoming game at the very next day. So we were able to kind of just take a look around, and when we were done, we headed back to our hotel. And this place, Hotel 43, I can tell you something. This place does not disappoint. Clean rooms, friendly staff. The place is just beautifully located close to downtown. And so if you have a chance to go to Boise, I suggest that this would be the place to go. But while we were there, they actually were so nice, and I'm telling you, so nice, that they offered us some free tickets to the local hockey team. And so Jackson and I headed over, and we took a look and took in some of this game before we headed off to grab some dinner. But the entertainment here, this facility here for this hockey team is amazing. If you get a chance to step foot in it, you will be amazed by just how beautiful and not a bad seat in the place. Now, of course, it was Halloween, so you got to see some of the fans really play it up a little bit here. Good morning, everybody. Well, I tried to get some footage of Jackson and I heading out to get some dinner last night, but because of our long journey that we had yesterday, didn't get a chance to film any of it because both of our cell phones were pretty much gone by then. And well, things got a little crazy last night. As we were filming this, it was October 31st. It was Halloween, so there was naturally a lot of people out last night. But as the night got later, it got even crazier. So by then, Jackson and I decided it was time to head back to the hotel. And well, we got a good night's sleep. I'm, of course, out and about, trying to take a look at some things out in Boise right now, downtown, and trying to find a good place to go grab something to eat, and probably get some supplies for us for the rest of the day. So we'll take a look and see what we come up with for some food this morning. And of course, wouldn't you know it, the footage from breakfast just was completely unusable. So I won't be able to show it to you here, but I will include links of all the different places that we ended up eating at so that you can try it yourself when you're in Boise. So later that morning, it was time to head over to Bronco Stadium. So Jackson and I loaded up everything and started heading over, and we started walking through the tailgates and make our way through the fans to get over to the stadium, and I tell you, man, these guys know how to party. There was a ton of people out. There's a lot of people just getting ready for this game and in anticipation for this matchup. This is a heated rivalry between both teams, and of course the milk can was on the line for this one, and so there was a lot of anticipation. Not a lot of Bulldog fans on hand. We did run into a handful of them here and there, but it was definitely not as big of a traveling crowd that I have seen before from the Bulldog faithful. Now, I would be, I'd be lying if I said that we had great hopes for the Bulldogs pulling off a victory in this one, but we'll get to that here later in the video. Now, at this point, Jackson and I have made it up into the stadium, and this is an eagle eye view of what you see from up top in some of the facilities. And then, of course, here's Jackson working away as we sat down at the press box in our seats to kind of take in the view of this blue field that the Broncos have. And so Jackson and I really just kind of settled in, got our stuff ready, and kind of really got things going ready for this game. At this point, Jackson and I, we headed down to the field for the pre-game warm-up, just watching the Bulldogs getting ready, stretching, getting everything going. We took a look around just to see what was going on. Right before kickoff, the Bulldogs came through, and the stadium was rocking. The crowd was really into this one, at least until the game got started. Jackson and I were not really thinking that the Bulldogs were going to put up much of a fight. However, things were a little different in this game. You could sense it in the air, but the Bulldogs were making play after play. Defensively, they were just a juggernaut of a team, just slowing down the Broncos, keeping everything going in the Bulldogs' favor. But play after play, the Bulldogs just seemed to be in the right place at the right time, and then they just started to really get their run game going, and really distance themselves and found themselves on the right side of a lopsided victory here in Boise, and it was quite the sight to see as the Bulldogs grew in their confidence and then came out victorious. The Bulldogs then were able to celebrate taking the milk can back to Fresno. So it was a good sight to see that they, after a couple of hard weeks for the Bulldogs, they were able to come out on top and be able to kind of get things going in the right direction for the Bulldogs. Now, after that, Jackson did his usual post-game interview with one of Fresno's local networks. And so we just kind of wrapped things up before we headed on out. Well, in case you're wondering, Jackson and I are officially leaving the stadium. And it's, what time, Jackson?
8:36.
8:36. And that's, about 3 hours after the game ended?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is what we go through on a daily basis at every game. So
there's only one other person left in there, I think.
So right now we're waiting for our lift so that we can head back to the hotel, drop off our gear, and finally get some dinner. So on our next clip, you'll see us picking a restaurant and getting some chow because we're starving. So we'll see you on the next clip. Of course, Jackson and I, we headed back to our hotel, dropped off our gear, walked downtown, and came across this gem, the Bittercreek Ale House. And so they specialize in brewing their own beer, but their food is also amazing. So we sat down, found a spot outside, took a look at the menu, and we ultimately decided on a few pub items that you would normally find in other places. So here we found some poutine with some pork on top and their gravy, of course, as some fried cheese curds, and we got the version with buffalo sauce all over them. And then, of course, they do their own in-house pretzel and their own in-house beer cheese that's made with their in-house beer. Now, the food was so delicious, we decided to grab some dessert, and here's their homemade beignets. And I'm telling you, these things are delicious. And it came with a side of a butterscotch dip that is to die for. So, you grab one, you dip it in the sauce, as Jackson is showing you here, and it is super delicious, and we absolutely enjoyed ourselves. After that, we got a good night's sleep, but the next morning, just went for a short walk, kind of took a look around, getting ready for ourselves to get on our flight to head back home. But, before we did that, we kind of had to just walk around the corner, and what you find around the corner is the Capitol building for Boise. It's a beautiful building, and so decided to kind of get some shots of that before we headed back, and packed up and got our stuff to head home on the next flight. But that was pretty much our trip. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as I will continue to put out even more videos as time goes on about my little adventures. So until next time, thank you for watching.